Question is that the motion be agreed to.
Mr Speaker.
Nika Whaitari.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker, i ngā member o te wharenei tēnā tātou katoa. E te haukainga kua tai mai nei. Nau mai hoki mai. Nau mai hoki mai ki o tātou whare i tēnei wā, i rongi te kaupapa whakahirahira mo te wā nei. Nō reira, hari ko te ngākau, ka kite ki te koutou. Tēnā koutou. Mr Speaker, I stand with members on this side of the House and wholeheartedly welcoming the third reading of this bill, the Hawke's Bay Regional Planning Committee bill. And can I please acknowledge those that have travelled long distances to be here to hear the passage of this important piece of legislation. Mr Speaker, can I acknowledge the origins of this bill being the Ngāti Pāhauera Settlement Act. Can I mihi to my whānau of Ngāti Pāhauera, Toro Mā, good to have you here in the House. Also acknowledging our whānau from Mangaharuru Tangitu, Tānia Mā, tēnei te mihi kia koe kia koutou katoa. And I also see our Chairman of the Hawke's Bay Regional Council, Fenton Wilson. Kanui te mihi kia koe, Fenton. Lovely to have you here again to witness this third reading of this important bill. Mr Speaker, I want to acknowledge the work of the Māori Select Committee. There was mention that we had 8 submissions presented to the Select Committee. 6 clearly supported this bill. Some had some reservations, but I do want to acknowledge the work of the Māori Select Committee and our Chair and our members here for bringing this bill back to the House. I want to say, just in terms of the Select Committee process, that I know for many people, although there was only 8 actually submitted, the importance of this bill was well discussed back home in terms of unlocking the co-governance arrangement, which is clearly, I think, going to benefit Hawke's Bay region. So when I see 8 submissions, I can almost triple that to know that the people at home have a very, very keen interest in this particular bill and what it will enable, Mr Speaker. So I want to commend those that did submit. I also don't want to shy from some of the points I raised in the second reading. And because if you're going to put something, raise an issue, then you want to stand by that. And there were a couple of issues that I did raise, Sir, in the second reading. One was around representation, and I acknowledged all the iwi who are currently at the table. I wanted the issue around coverage, and I'll again welcome all the iwi that are at the table. We still have a major entity back in the Hawke's Bay, Ngāti Kaungunu Iwi Incorporated, who through the Māori Fisheries Act do have some responsibilities, Sir, that will probably extend what we are passing through this Act. So it was my cautionary note I made at the second reading that I again say at the third reading that it will be something that needs to be managed between the iwi at the table and Hawke's Bay Regional Council, simply because we don't want anything coming unstuck over what we are starting to pass through this House here. And definitely kōrero is a better proposition to have than to be litigating in the courts. And so I just wanted to make that point, Mr Speaker. The other point I raised was one around skills and capability, and I acknowledge the Hawke's Bay Regional Council's commitment of $100,000 to help with the resourcing of this committee. But again, as we get into the technical areas of the Resource Management Act, that requires quite a bit of investment, particularly if you've got iwi at the table to unlock the intricacies, I guess, of the legislation that surrounds Regional Resource Management Act. And again, I just raise that point to ensure that what we are setting up here is well-resourced, so it can do the job that we all want it to do. Mr Speaker, I want to also acknowledge that in working out a co-arrangement that would best suit Hawke's Bay, we did reference a similar arrangement in the Ngāti Awa and the Ngāti Tama claims to ensure that this particular arrangement was fit for purpose. And so I want to acknowledge the research that went into that. Mr. Speaker, I'm glad to stand here to say that I am from the Hawke's Bay. Our primary industry is critical to the survival of our economy, and so having good governance and good decision making to ensure that not only is our land and our water protected, but it is allowed to grow the opportunities that we very much have come accustomed to in Hawke's Bay, but we also want to protect. And so in accepting and supporting this bill, I see it as a continuum of both iwi and local government having a say in the future of the Hawke's Bay. I want to acknowledge the Minister's introductory point around this committee's role as purely a recommendation, that the final decision sits at the local government level. We have general elections coming up in 2016 CERP, and we will be encouraging as many of people from the Hawke's Bay, hopefully more iwi, that we will see both at the regional council as well as the city council. So, Mr. Speaker, I really want to support this bill coming through the House. I can see the potential and the fortitude that the negotiators of Ngāti Pāhuera set. I've shared my cautionary notes in ensuring that this is an ongoing arrangement. I also want to acknowledge the hard work of the Napier MP, colleague Stu Nash, who I want to say works really tirelessly for Napier and for the people of Hawke's Bay, and it's a pleasure to work with Stu and his absolute commitment to making us not only the best region in New Zealand, but to hold on to that log of wood when another colleague of ours who hopes to be travelling down with the Northland team on Sunday to try and take it off us. So, Mr. Speaker...
I'm just going to warn the member against irony.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I want to again assure the House that I look forward to the passage of this final bill. I can see the potential, like I said, it will unlock in Hawke's Bay. I wish all the iwi who have come today, the Hawke's Bay Regional Council, let it be a model for all co-governance arrangements in Hawke's Bay, because I can see the opportunity that it will unlock for our people who we represent. Mr. Speaker, I commend this bill to the House.